Hello and welcome. I'm M. Now, how to properly design RPG weapons. Let me tell you, because this is one of the wrongest things people get to do. It's frequently horrible, and so many people have spoken out against it, but here I want to explain how you do the right ones as opposed to the wrong ones without needing to study historical ones specifically. Though that can help and does help, but it's not all about that. It's not that a historical sword is a good sword, a non-historical sword is a bad sword. That's not how it works. No, any weapon is an exercise in efficient design. And excuses like the spikes won't really harm these people in this world, they are too powerful, too immune, they don't even hold the handle all the way there or all the way there, they'll never slip their grip, they'll never cut themselves on the gem. At the end, it has that rectangular frame that's sharp and horrible, and yeah, those excuses don't work. Essentially, aerodynamics and physics sequences work. If something feels great, like a fighter jet, if it feels sleek, if it feels good, it doesn't have to be sleek per se in the case of a weapon, but if it feels well balanced, well rounded, well positioned, well utilized, well fitting with the user, well adjusted to the user's biology, then it is a delicious weapon that makes us all drool, regardless of how much we don't want to hurt people and how much it's not about violence. No, this is how you do art. It's like one of those decorations around elevators in Art Deco. It's all about how effective you are at art. It's not about whether weapon is a weapon. It's about whether weapon is efficient, and that efficiency through artistry is what gives proper design. Now, before I waited for years to do this episode because I could never critique a person on this directly without their permission, and I wanted to give examples. Finally, though, we have AI art. Without that, I couldn't have done it. Now I can put pictures behind myself to show you bad weapons and good weapons, and why good weapons feel so good and bad ones feel so bad. Because for the first time I can use art that nobody drew to show you what everybody is doing wrong and horrible. So, don't do these wrong handles, don't do these handles that go badly into your hand and arm. Your arm should be able to reliably lean both ways, curve both ways. There shouldn't be additional handles or whatever, grips, like on those sci-fi pistols that block too much, or on those swords that block you from maneuvering the sword properly. Length of the handle should be appropriate to uses. Spikes shouldn't prevent usability of the length of the handle. If the handle looks good, if the handle is too long, the sword will look lame, even though too long a handle isn't really deterrent too much to actual usage of a sword. This also goes for everything else. Also, please put more hammers in, your art. Everybody does swords. I love swords, but I have a player that loves hammers, and yeah, there's hardly any hammers anytime. And things should feel like they should move well in the air when they are swung, when they're thrown, when they're rotated. They shouldn't feel like there's so much air resistance that no matter how strong you are, it'll flip around and flop around like it's some sort of signboard nailed to a plank that you need to roll around, and then it sort of disattaches and breaks and slams around itself against the wind and stuff like that. Now, that's no exaggeration, but anytime you see a weapon that doesn't feel like it would swing with a satisfying swoosh, when you see a weapon that doesn't look like it would move around quite well, that weapon is a failure of a design. And you want all of those weapons to look suited to their culture and purpose. I wanted to first say you want them to look dignified, but that's just one style, and it's a style that is lovely, but there's plenty. You can have funny steampunky weapons, you can have serious steampunk weapons, you can have comedic weapons, you can have both joke weapons and a serious yet delightfully, completely anachronistic looking weapons. All of those things and many more you can have, and have it seriously, as long as there's a strong sense of design purpose. As in, does it point to an era, to a culture, to something the player can recognize, or at least to usability and aerodynamics? Is it decorated well, at least, if it's decorated, or is it over-designed? Does it have too many clashing colors, or does it have sleek quality of colors? Does it colorfulness work for it or against it? You know, if you don't feel like it would be a great article of clothing, then it's not a great article of arms. You want it to make impressions. You want it to make the story. You want players who wield it to be proud of it, and you want players who see it in the enemy's arm to read the story about whether it's new recruit, soldier of the region, or a big bad boss that you want to be intimidating, or very complexly storytelling of the culture and the history and the abilities that he or she possesses. And then those weapons work. If they are stylish in their sense, even if that style is unconventional, unusual, rare, then they work. If they look dumb, then they are dumb. So please think twice before you add edgy spikes or before you add detail. Lots of artists think that a sword is a key that nobody ever turns in a lock. They make an emblem that's sideways. They don't give a damn. They don't have any inclination towards swordsmanship. They don't have any absorption of atmosphere. They don't have love for holding an arm in their hand, because probably they were taught that it's a bad thing to have weapons or something, subconsciously. So they never imagined themselves deeply enough of wielding one. But I know that weapons are art objects, and you don't have to hurt somebody to imagine how aerodynamic and wonderful they would feel to wield and swing as a sport, even if it's just against air, or just against the tatami, or anything else for that matter. So don't take it as a war-related thing only. It's a fantasy-related thing. So, adventurer, DM, artist, if you thought that was useful or unique, maybe you can spare me a click. And I could see you here next, or perhaps some other week. Because every other week I have more such things for you. I make them myself. I'm Em, and welcome to dMTable. See you next time. Bye.